What's going on?
We're going to need money.
Max fun drive. Max fun
Drive.
Max fun drive.
The idea is to recruit new members.
Money.
Do not fast forward, because it's Greatest Trek Drive 2025, and it starts right now. The drive is the most important time of year for us to get the support we need to continue our mission, which is to make this dick and fart joke Star Trek podcast. You can support our cause by going to MaximumFun.org/join. You click on a level of support. For as little as $5, you can really make a difference in what we're able to do around here. Click on Greatest Trek, click on Greatest Gen, and then you will be secure in the knowledge that you've helped make this thing possible for the rest of the year. MaximumFun.org/join. Go there right now, and let's all get it done on week 1 of Greatest Trek Drive.
We are a listener-supported show. Almost our entire operating budget comes from the support we get by monthly supporters like you. You know, we do ads every so often on this show, but it really is hard to sell ads for a show that doesn't have as big a listenership as our other show. So we really, really need your support, in particular for Greatest Trek. Our goal is for 100% of the people listening to become supporters in this year's pledge drive, and it's as little as $5 a month to become a member. So if you aren't already a member, this is our direct appeal to you to become a member today. Go to MaximumFun.org/join and become a true friend of DeSoto.
If your podcast network says you can't sell dinger pills during your ad breaks on a podcast, you might be on the Max Phone Network.
Yeah, I mean, we're upholding certain standards over here. We could really use your support. A show like this, frankly, is not possible without your support. And if you've been leaving that to other people up until now it's time to turn that around and become a supporter today. MaximumFun.org/join.
100% support is the goal this year. We're looking forward to telling you how we will achieve that goal in an upcoming break. But for now, just go ahead and get it done. MaximumFun.org/join. A couple of button clicks later, and you're all fixed up for the rest of the year. Thanks for your support. MaximumFun.org/join.
I'm only gonna tell you this once.
That is now your chair, Captain.
My friends, the great experiment.
Prodigy.
Prodigy. Hidden. Trek.
Would you look at that?
The greatest Trek. And you people, you're all astronauts on some kind of Star Trek. The greatest Trek.
Welcome to Greatest Trek. It's a new Star Trek podcast from the makers of The Greatest Generation. I'm Adam Pranica.
I'm Ben Harrison. You know what Star Trek Prodigy is about for me, Adam? Family.
Living your life one quadrant at a time.
Those two things.
You know what I was looking for throughout the episode is someone drinking out of a long neck bottle with 3 fingers.
Yeah.
I love that choice.
Why, before the car racing scene, is there not a thing where they drive into the area around the car racing, and there are just so many gratuitous shots of butts? It's unbelievable.
I mean, that's the thing about working on cars. You got to bend over at the waist to get into what's under the hood. You just have to.
You got to arch your back and really throw it in the air.
Yeah.
You know?
Back when I used to work on my car a lot, the floor jack.
Okay. I'm starting to picture this. Yeah. Okay.
The floor jack and the creeper setup. God, that just changed everything. Getting into a car from the bottom.
Yeah.
It makes available so many more maintenance opportunities.
so many novel carcinogens that can fall in your mouth.
I loved it. I love those days. Now, old man shakes fist at Cloud style. I'm gonna say you just can't work on cars anymore.
No,
they're unworkable.
That'll void the warranty every single time.
Kind of envious when I see Jankom Pog rooting around in his ships. You know?
Yeah.
There is a place for engineers in the future.
Are the people at the at the Volvo dealership who are certified to work on the XC40 Recharge. Are they able to, pull off the plastic panels on the inside of their car and work on their servos and whatnot?
Oh yeah, that's what the certification's for. That's what you go to the school to get.
So they might still be out in their driveway on a Saturday afternoon wrenching away on the otherwise unserviceable parts, right?
They know the whole thing.
Yeah.
They're probably the best owners of such vehicles.
Yeah. But the nice thing about it is you don't need to fix it all that often.
Getting back to beer, I feel like I only ever have and enjoy a Corona in a casino situation. I never think to buy Corona. I never think to go to a bar and get Corona. And the reason I'm saying this, it's not branded content. Like, the Corona is the beer of the Fast and the Furious.
It is.
Is it not?
It is, but I've been rewatching these films a lot lately, and I think that's more of a late period Fast and Furious thing. Like in 5, they're in Brazil. They don't have Coronas in 5,
Do they have Cerveza Cristal?
Isn't that like Ecuadorian or something like that? They have something, local functional equivalent of Corona.
What you do in that country is you go to a bar and you ask for Cerveza Cristal or equivalent. They know what to get you.
It's not Cerveza Cristal, but it'll do until Cerveza Cristal gets here.
Right.
Like, I think that, they started to, hang a lantern on it in that scene with Kurt Russell where he's drinking, Belgian beer, and Vin Diesel makes a big deal about what a bad choice it is to be a man's man and drink Belgian beer.
More of a Corona man myself.
I gotta tell you, man, I'm kind of surprised to hear his name. I left the franchise when a Kurt Russell became a part of it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
You wouldn't fucking believe some of the prestige that this franchise has brought to bear in terms of its casting.
Wow.
While they are getting more and more ridiculous doing jumps off of submarines and going to space, they are also bringing in, Oscar winners and shit.
Let me ask you a question that I think FODs definitely want an answer to.
Right.
Do you make it past halfway in any of these movies? Do you watch the whole thing?
It's my workout distraction. I'm doing I'll do a 40-minute workout. So I'm just watching it in chunks, and I just pick it up wherever I left off on the last one.
You're not a music man. You're a movie man.
Yeah, music isn't. I think that because of the fact that you're trying to keep a rhythm with rowing.
Yeah, if the music isn't the right beat, then that's not going to work.
It really throws me off if it's wrong. And there's music all through those movies, but it's not the main character.
That's interesting. When I ride Peloton, again, not branded content, using the hashtag Jim Shimoda with a G, it's all music all the time. And at all sorts of beats per minute, and very few of them correspond with a pedal stroke. Yeah.
I don't know. I wonder if it's something that I am particularly sensitive to, because I remember back in the day, in the boathouse, we had a row of ergs, and everyone else on the team loved to fire up the classic rock station or whatever, and I fucking hated it. It drove me nuts.
Does this export to all parts of your life? Like during sexual experiences you've had, can you not listen to music?
Yeah, I'm
it throws you off your thrusting?
Sorry, babe. Marvin Gaye isn't quite in the same mood I am right now. I gotta get up and I gotta tell Siri to shut this off.
If you don't mind, I'm gonna put on this Rick Springfield. It's the only way I can nut.
Yes, and I'm excited to talk about this episode with you.
What a fun place to take our kids on Star Trek Prodigy, Brent. God, when was the last time you mispronounced my name on the show? That should suggest what we're dealing with mentally lately. A lot of fatigue.
Yeah. We're still doing it. We're still in it.
We're still both fast and curious.
I as are the proteges in today's episode. It's season 2, episode 7.
The Fast and the Curious.
You know the greatest danger facing us is an irrational fear of the unknown.
On my mark, go fast.
So we start with a Dal's captain's log. Once again, nominated himself as captain, this time of the Infinity ship.
Look at me, sure. I'm the captain now.
Seriously?
And once again, doing it in public. He'll never learn.
Just get a room with your iPad, Dal.
That's part of the problem, right? Is that the ship is so small, everyone's all cramped together. It's like a too many roommates in a not enough bedrooms apartment situation.
Yeah, and I think it was illustrative of what a good deal it was for Rock Talk that she wasn't on their last trip on this ship when she's like bonking her head and bonking her shoulders on all the bulkheads trying to move around in here. You know, it's like being on an RV. Like it's close quarters in there.
When Rock Talk takes a shit, is it like the infomercial when you see a bucket of golf balls being poured into a commode and then flushed? Is it that kind of situation?
Ooh, or is it like lava?
Great call.
Is Rock Talk full of lava?
If Rock Talk is full of lava, are things like Nashville hot chicken just not going to be a thing for Rock Talk? Like that's easy. It just commingles with the rest of the lava.
Yeah.
Rock Talk on hot ones can like just do the whole row. Like not a big deal.
Like no like fight or flight response triggering like a more confessional interview than you would normally get with this person.
Completely untouched glass of milk.
It's their least viewed episode of Hot Ones ever. It's like on one end you've got the Gordon Ramsay episode.
Yeah.
Way on the other end you've got Rock Talk. Nobody wants to see those teeth go through a drumette. Hey, speaking of logs, Jankom is doing some logging of his own and has clogged up the sonic toilet, Adam.
It's been a long time, I feel like, since we've admitted something embarrassing on the show. Maybe too long. I used to be a frequent toilet clogger when I was a kid. Clogged it up all the time, needing to be plunged all the time.
Wow.
And this made me feel very bad about myself for a long time because I thought it was a me problem. I think in adulthood, I'm now realizing that was a plumbing problem in our house.
Wow.
But for like several times a month, I'd have to tell my parents, I'm a little kid, I have to tell my parents that I clogged the toilet with my giant shit. With my bucket of golf balls, Rock Talk shit.
There are a few things more nerve-inducing than seeing that water level rise in the bowl.
Yeah. I mean, I would argue that's top 5 fears in a person's life.
Wow. Yeah. Because, I mean, oh man, what a mess if that overspills.
Yeah.
I'm just fascinated by the presence of a toilet on a Starfleet vessel. And I think that just goes to what an unusual ship the Infinity is in so many ways. It doesn't look like a Starfleet ship. It has a toilet unlike a Starfleet ship. It's very strange. It's almost like Aaron Waltke doesn't listen to the show.
Jankom Pog refers to it as a sonic toilet.
Yeah.
And we've seen what a sonic shower looks like on Star Trek Lower Decks.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of imagining the lower decks of a bathroom.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I'm kind of liking that aspect of it, you know, like it's like a Sonicare toothbrush kind of like vibrating everything loose, like just picturing like a like down there while everything just kind of like slips out. It sounds nice.
How is this different from a bidet with all the settings?
Exactly.
Is what I'm wondering, you know? And that's the ultimate right there. That's what you want.
Mm-hmm. The Starfleet USS Infinity brought to you by Toto.
Yeah. Like ship's registry written in Toto script. Pretty great. They've got 61 more days to reach their destination, Ben. And if you're needing to do that with a broken toilet, that's not really going to work, right? The alternative is that there is a Borg's transwarp conduit nearby that would cut the time way down. kind of make the whole toilet problem a non-issue. And that kind of like tilts the risk reward of it in favor of transwarp conduit, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and for a group of people that were just protesting Dal's calling himself captain, they follow his orders pretty quickly when he tells them to set a course for this hole. You know, we're learning so much about how much power is ceded before it is claimed, you know, just in general.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what it felt like here.
Speaking of that, kind of, we've seen Chaos Murf absorb explosives and save the rest of the team for doing it. Do you think you could turn Chaos Murf into a toilet if you had to?
Oh, I don't think you're going to have to. I think that Chaos Murf is a nasty freak who loves that shit.
You don't even have to ask him. Like you're talking about Jankom Pog comes out of the bathroom. He's like, whoa, do not go in there.
Yeah.
Chaos Murf has already turned himself into a commode. This is what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. So they are at this hole before they know it and hit it with a tachyon beam, fire it up, and we are in a green space tunnel moving very quickly.
When did this green become comforting? As a Star Trek fan, I like seeing this color again.
Yeah. It's nice, and it's specifically not on the little gadget that appears out of nowhere and flies after them and affixes itself to their ship. That has purple lights on it, and purple in sci-fi, you know the vibes are going to be weird.
Great call. Purple is danger. This little purple thing knocks them right out of the tunnel.
They're brought to a purple planet, a smelly planet. And they're set down on like a landing platform in front of
that guy from Starship Troopers. He had one moment in that entire movie.
It's an ugly planet, a planet.
And yet the mileage we get out of him.
I love that guy. I'd buy him a drink right now. I'd buy him a drink with my last $5.
A sulfur planet. A dung planet.
There's like a structure here that it looks like kind of like a modern concert hall or arena kind of structure.
Yeah, the latticing of it sure does look like if you were to build a museum in an American city these days, this is what it would look like.
Sure. I was gonna write castle, and I was like, well, castle doesn't really like evoke what it looks like. But then I was like, I bet in a feudal spacefaring future, like you would build a castle like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. All those little crevices where you could stick people with cauldrons of hot oil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You could dump hot oil from just about anywhere on this thing.
I mean, maybe it just burbles down the face of it and it perfectly coats every surface.
I love that for this. Yeah. Every surface a gutter filled with hot oil.
Would you look at that?
They're wondering what caused their ship to do this, and Zero and Murf float up to take a look at this piece of unknown technology that's affixed itself to them.
We should mention that Chaos Murf is not a toilet in this moment.
Right.
They're just regular Chaos Murf.
Right. When I say float up and in proximity to the word Murf, I'm not talking about a turd floating up in the water and you're wondering, like, why do most of them sink but not this one?
That's all I was saying.
Yeah. They look at this thing and immediately peg it as Kazon, and that is very freaky to these kids who were sold into slavery by the Kazons.
Them and all the tiny kitties.
Yeah.
It was baby kitties, and it was these kids, and the Kazon did it.
Jacob says that Borg tech would have been preferable to him.
The one thing you know about the Borgs being your enemy is they're not going to sell you into slavery. Mm-hmm. They're going to use you.
Right.
They have a purpose for you.
Right.
For sure.
And they have no purpose for Latinum, you know? Like, who needs the profits of slavery?
No, not at all.
When you're a Borgs.
Yeah. So out come the Kazon with a bunch of weapons to march the kids that aren't Zero and Chaos Murf into the building, and psychically, it's Zero who's able to have one last conversation with Dal on their way in. Zero's like, what do you want me to do? And Dal's like, hey, all you need to worry about is getting the ship flying. I'll handle the rest. W/R/T, escaping from this fortress or whatever.
Mighty confident of Dal.
Yeah. Yeah. Back on Voyager A.
The A is for ass.
Janeway and company find the holodoppels acting really out of character, but it's something that she and the senior staff do not notice at all.
It kind of bumped me for a second, then I was like, no, like they formed their like very close relationship with Holo Janeway, who is not really a character in season 2 so far.
It's true. Yeah.
This admiral is like probably just like, yeah, I guess these kids are continuing to be weirdos. Like nothing seems off here.
Yeah, she barely knows these kids.
But the Novas notice.
Yeah, and Majel specifically. Which is weird because, like, the one that Majel would pay the closest attention to, Zero, not really a part of this scene.
Yeah. But I guess because Dal is acting so Zero-ish, maybe?
Have you tried the Cardassian yamok sauce? It's quite exquisite.
Yeah, with the voice and stuff.
Yeah, Majel is like, why am I so hot under the collar for Dal all of a sudden? This makes no sense.
Right. Back to the kids with the Kazon, where they meet the guy in the throne. This is Ekthi, and he rules the stink planet, and he owns the transwarp conduit, and that's his beef. He's like, look, you want to use the conduit, you're going to have to pay.
He's like a bridge troll.
Yeah, he totally is. That is the context that a kid would understand, for sure.
Yeah.
And this guy is like, look, you can give me the Infinity ship and we'll call it even. Or some gold-pressed platinum would be nice too. And Gwyn is like, look, we can't/won't give you either of those. Do you have any other alternative?
Smash cut to them in the kitchen with like a comically high pile of plates that they have to clean.
Do you think that's a reference that works for today's kids? Real talk.
Like hobo that doesn't have enough to pay for his diner dinner cleaning in the kitchen.
I don't think a kid of today would understand that was briefly on the line for folks if they weren't able to pay.
Yeah. Here's the thing. If you don't have any money but you want to eat in restaurants, only go to restaurants that have a little, like half a piece of printer paper in the window that says, looking for dishwasher, right?
That's a strategy.
Yeah.
There's a time in my life when I would have gladly exchanged dishwashing for meals.
Yeah.
Because I love washing dishes. That's
nice.
one thing about me.
Put a couple of headphones in, listen to a podcast?
Yeah.
What's better?
Yeah. Yeah. Ekthi proposes a race for your freedom kind of competition against his son. That's the specific of this. Like, my son, he's way into this racing thing. As his dad, I just don't get it, but I support him because he's my son. And look, I'm trying to make him better, but he's so much better than all these dipshits on the planet right now. Like, what I'm trying to do is get folks down here to race him in a sharpness makes sharpness. Is that how the saying go? How does that go, Ben?
I don't know.
Steel sharpens steel kind of way?
Sure.
You should have started with that.
How about that as a trade? And the kids are in. Not just one of the kids or a few, but they're all in. They all want to race.
Yeah, and they have to pair off. There's going to be Dal and Jankom in one skiff, and Gwyn and Roktak in the other. So meanwhile, we cut to Zero and Murf, who are walking around on this platform and discover that it is built atop a graveyard of starships, including the USS Cairo, a ship that we saw in TNG.
I know.
Sad.
The Cairo was Jellicoe's ship. Did you know that?
Damn. Well, he has a connection to this series, so I guess we may find out why it ended up here.
Crazy to see a Hood class in the ice like this. Like,
yeah.
you just imagine all of the foosball tables, like the little twisters, like frozen in place. There's soccer players all willy-nilly at, like, the way that a listing starship is disgusting to see in space.
Yeah.
You see a iced out foosballman in the wrong position.
Yeah, with his feet in the air, like stuck in that position.
God, so tragic.
Do you think that Jellicoe was like keeping the foosball tables installed as delivered on his starship, or do you think he took those out?
Because you're suggesting the Hood class came with those from the factory.
I mean, these are a ship that are designed for hauling your butt between star bases, for time immemorial.
My feeling about Jellicoe was that he was not an asshole. He was just about order. Mm-hmm. And so, no, I don't believe he would have taken out the foosball tables. I think he would have just been very clear about the schedule for their use.
Yeah.
And there being a nice list of people organized by time when they could play the game.
Get it done.
I don't think Jellicoe is up for like the sort of quarter on the arcade cabinet way of establishing order in the chaos of a video arcade. I think he's a listman.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I think there are a lot of whiteboards in the foosball area of the USS Cairo.
Absolutely.
We need to score a lot of laps fast.
We're licensed businessmen.
Max fun drive. Max fun
Drive.
Max fun drive.
The idea is to recruit new members.
Hey, it's the Greatest Trek Drive, and if you are new to the show or have skipped these in the past, let me just tell you that our show relies on your support to exist. And that's why we ask every single Greatest Trek listener to participate by going to MaximumFun.org/join and becoming a member today. You get instant access when you sign up to our amazing catalog of bonus content. This year, we added tons of new stuff to the Greatest Trek feed, including a new Greatest Trek Film Fest episode about the classic 1980s banger Top Gun. And we teamed up with our friends John Hodgman and Jesse Thorne to review that movie. And it was a first view for John Hodgman. So it was a really interesting experience, really funny episode. I think you're going to enjoy it tremendously.
I think it was actually more of a Judge John Hodgman episode where
Sure.
both Jesse and John Hodgman were attempting to sentence the classic and beloved 1984 film Top Gun to death. And then I was its only defender. I was shocked to be put in this position, but there I was, and you're going to want to hear it in our bonus feed.
Yeah, it was really weird for me to be put in the position of peacemaker. That never happens, especially in the context of watching a movie like Top Gun. Just a really great episode, and I think you're going to enjoy it a lot if you become a new member by going to MaximumFun.org/join. And if you're already a member, please tell other listeners how much you enjoy that bonus content. Go on social media and extol its virtues, but also become a boosting or upgrading member this year. You can also do that at MaximumFun.org/join. Our costs rise every year, and the network's tiers of support have never risen in the almost decade that we've been on Maximum Fun. So if you got a spare buck or two to boost your membership, or if you can jump up to the next tier at MaximumFun.org/join, we really tremendously appreciate it.
For more than 3 years, we've been putting out bonus episodes every month. Can you believe it? You will get my Southern Lawyer defense of Top Gun. But not just that. We've got episodes about just so many movies. Crimson Tide, Hunt for Red October, Gremlins, Gremlins 2, Heat, Galaxy Quest, What We Left Behind, Event Horizon, Teen Wolf, Airplane 2, Spaceman, Rollerball, and the aforementioned Top Gun.
Where did Adam go? Why is the Micro Machines guy here right now?
You get Star Trek related BOCO. And by BOCO, I mean bonus content. There has been some question about what exactly BOCO means. Mm-hmm. Star Trek Generations, Star Trek First Contact, Star Trek 2, Star Trek 3, Star Trek 4, Re-Encounter at Farpoint, and now Star Trek 5.
Oh, man.
All of this for everyone who signs up to support or increases their support. You get something as a prize.
Yeah, BOCO is not a slur, as many people have said it might be. It is in fact bonus content, and the way it works is there is a huge catalog of this stuff, but we're always putting out new bonus episodes. And if you go to MaximumFun.org/join and set your membership up, the first thing you get is an email about your bonus content, and it's really cool. They've made it so that you can customize your feed to only include the shows that you want to get bonus content from. So every month you'll get new stuff from us and whatever other shows you add to that RSS feed. And that is an RSS feed that you can add to whatever podcatcher app you use. And every supporter gets to make their own RSS feed.
So go to MaximumFun.org/join, sign up at any level of support, and you can start getting bonus content right away. MaximumFun.org/join.
It is our duty to support money.
100%.
Money. Make it so. Make it so. Money.
If you're already a supporter and you're ready to get physical, get some physical gifts, upgrade to the $10 level or higher. This year, we are giving an enamel pin to supporters at the $10 level featuring Zephram Cochrane saying, money.
Money.
Because it's his favorite thing, maybe second favorite.
Women.
After women. But he loves money. And
money.
We need money to make the show. And so we felt it was appropriate to have a Zephram Cochrane pin this year. And one of my favorite things when we do live shows is to give high fives to folks that I clock wearing.
Women.
And men wearing the pins, that we give out. It's really cool to see people in the real world who can rep their support like that. And I am always grateful to be able to identify them and thank them in person. It's a really special thing. And men. I thank the men as well, Adam. So MaximumFun.org/join to upgrade your membership to the $10 level if you want to get that awesome pin. It is a really great design. And the other pledge gifts at higher levels are also awesome. Just go to the URL to take a look at them and pick which ones you want because they rule. MaximumFun.org/join.
I think we all know how important Greatest Trek is.
One of the most important things, period.
Where else are you going to get the hard-hitting feedback about new Star Trek than from the pirate ship of streaming Star Trek shows, Greatest Trek? That's you and me, Ben. We're fighting over that wheel.
Mm-hmm.
The pirate ship jerking it around to and fro. There's folks up on the yardarm.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Doing the spinnaker stuff.
The yardarm.
What I'm describing.
Are we buccaneers or are we boconeers, Adam?
You're talking about bonus content, a term that people remain confused by. That's right, Ben. We are sailing the USS Boko through these podcast streets. And really, you and I know this, Ben. I think Wynde probably knows this. Rob and Bill maybe know this. There's no other show like Greatest Trek. You got a lot of podcasts in the Star Trek industrial complex. Not giving it to you straight. Not the way we do.
Mm-hmm.
We're giving you the straight dope every week. And we always have. That's because we aren't owned by Paramount or Roddenberry or anyone else. It's just us out here on the pirate ship.
And, our unique brand of puerile sex pun laced Star Trek review, I think is something you'd really miss if it had to go away. And it would have to go away if you decided not to become a supporter this year. It's on you, personally.
MaximumFun.org/join is where you can go to support Greatest Trek. And if you're not one of the 100% this year, you can just walk the plank. Just to further tease out what we're talking about here.
If it's really not in the budget for you, you can head to dongshop.biz, a real URL set up by the great folks at the USS Hood Discord group who have ganged up to make gift memberships available to anyone who is financially not in a position to support this year. And we just actually communicated with them. They have a bunch of gift memberships available. So I sure hope folks will go to dongshop.biz and get a gift membership if they would like to support, but simply are not able to for financial reasons. This is very cool. This is very cool, and we really appreciate the folks at the USS Hood Discord for doing this.
It's because they know how important it is we reach our 100% support goal.
We need every single person listening to become a member, boost, or upgrade this year at MaximumFun.org/join. That means you. Do it right now while you're thinking about it, because you want to.
Increase support, the maximum. Increase support, the maximum. Increase support, the maximum. Increase support, the maximum.
fun. Drive. Dollar signs. Fun.
Drive.
Dollar signs. Fun. Drive.
Money. Money.
So they get down to where the racing skiffs take off from, and Jankom is in the middle of getting ready to really drag them for being pieces of shit when Ekthi inserts that this is a racer of his own design.
Hey, Ben, if you were a little kid with a retainer and you saw a romantic interest across the playground, would you say that they were, Ekthi? Mithel is Ekthi.
And I would say, like, I would like to have Ekth with them, but first Maj. Because I'm a devout Christian in this.
Sure. Yeah. There is not a lot of like preamble or like sports speech giving before the race. Like the kids are taken to the shuttle bay of this facility and it's enormous and it goes way down. We see how huge this base is and we see the vehicles that are going to be used for this race.
Yeah.
And they're all different shapes, but each one has a pilot and a co-pilot that face the opposite direction. And this made me nauseous to look at. I do not like riding the transit with my back to the direction of travel. And so, like, when you see Rock Talk get in that way behind Gwyn, I'm like, oh, no. Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah. A lot of the trains in LA have, like, whole entire cars where the seats are facing the wrong way. And it's unpleasant for me.
What is that about? Is that about, like, if you're in a collision and you're clearly not wearing a seatbelt on a subway or whatever? Like, is that the direction your head snaps? Is like going into the headrest instead of forward?
I don't know, because there's lots of other seats on the other cars that are facing the other way. I don't know what it's about. Maybe they're just lazy and put it on wrong.
Just like that, the race begins, Ben. Like, they get in and the countdown starts, and it's like that scene in Aliens where they board the dropship. They are like express elevator to hell right away.
Let's pack them in! Get on there!
It's going pretty good. It's fun. But Ekthi starts fucking with the race by triggering traps. Like, you know, like a whole bunch of icicles will all fall in the vicinity of the racers.
He's got money on this, right? With how interested he is in these obstructions.
It seems like it, but he's also like occasionally like talking under his breath, kind of contrary to what he's saying when he's yelling.
Yeah.
He's acting weird.
Nothing like some healthy rivalry. This is dangerous. They could... My pilot will not be beaten.
Yeah, he's a weirdo.
One of the ships gets killed by one of these traps, and Rock Talk is now kind of in panic mode. Like, this was supposed to be a fun race around, and now it seems like there are lethal stakes to this race. Not to mention that, but Dal is also not doing defensive driving. He's not keeping his hands at 10 and 2. He's not turning on his signal before merging, and he bumps right into Gwyn. And this causes her armband to start glitching out, and occasionally her hands lose their substance and slip right through the steering wheel, of which she's the only operator, because even though there's two people in this pod, only one of them does any steering. It's not a pilot-co-pilot thing.
We were just talking about this in our bonus episode about Top Gun, that the Rio doesn't have pilot controls back there. The pilot's the only one that can fly the plane. And so it is with these little skiffs.
Another ship gets destroyed, and...
Hey, Rubbin's racing, by the way, Gwyn.
Sure, Rubbin is racing, as they say in Top Gun. Another ship gets destroyed, and Ekthi is like really starting to seem like split personality, both celebrating and fretting about how crazy and unsafe this is at the same time.
Yeah.
Fun race. I thought that the animation and the sequence was really fun. You know, like I think like a lot of these like 3D animation environments are made to be just as good for making video games as they are for television shows, and it really shows. Like, this just looks super exciting. Like, I would play the game that is spun off from this in a heartbeat.
The show has always looked good. This episode in particular looks better than the last.
Yeah.
To the extent that I actually paused the episode and made sure that motion smoothing wasn't accidentally turned on the TV I was watching it on. Like, it looked better than it usually does in this way. And there's something about, like, the complementary colors of, like, the purple and the red and the glowing of the rings and stuff. Everything looks very pleasing throughout this race. Yeah.
So Dal is really close to winning the race, but the one ship that's supposedly piloted by Ekthe's protege, they bump into each other and both ships crash. And now looks like Gwyn and Roktok are going to win it. But then they realize that Dal needs help, and they abandon the race and turn around to go set it down.
Do you think something was missing from this episode in this spot? Like, I kind of wish there was more tension in this decision. Like, there is nothing in it for Gwyn and Roktok to win the race for, and I kind of wish there was a reason.
Right. Like, is it that they have to win in order to get their ship back? If that is, it wasn't, like, super clear.
It was established up top, but that it was not referred to ever again. I don't know, maybe I have a very short attention span for that kind of detail, but I kind of felt like finishing it off, it should have been a greater conflict in these decisions, whether or not to go back for Dal or win the race.
Yeah, it seems very frustrating to Ekthe, who wanted the race to be completed, and knocks the mask off of one of his minions, revealing to Roktok and Zero that these are in fact robo-minions.
Yeah.
I don't even know why the scientists make them.
If you aren't sure the species of an alien in Star Trek Prodigy, probably Robo is what it is.
Yeah.
Getting a lot of those.
He notices that Zero and Murf have been listening in, and so sends the robo-minions after them. Like, these robos are no match for Murf. Zero's pretty much handling themselves too, like knocking these guys around. They knock Ekthe into this ice wall right behind his throne, and it causes a big crack, and he's stunned long enough that they can pull a clip show device off of his temple, and the ice shatters to reveal a passage back to a server room.
Ekthe, at this point, there was something mind-control-y about the thing on his head, and after removing it, he can barely remember even who he is or what his deal is.
I can relate.
Where am I? Who are you?
What? I'm a Star Trek podcaster? How long? Oh, no.
I'm a Star Trek podcaster, but why am I standing on this stool with a rope around my neck? Guess I know what I gotta do.
So the gang are like returning to the surface as Ekthe, Zero, and Murf go back through this passageway into the server room, and we learn that this is where Ekthe last remembers being, and this was a training facility to prepare young Kazon to become like fearsome warriors or whatever, but a megalomaniacal machine intelligence that was designed to run all the exercises for those upstarts, went rogue and imprisoned everyone and like got completely obsessed with creating the ultimate warrior.
You just be sure and beat her, because the ultimate warrior will bring it on.
Hey, Ekthe, why don't you maybe edit your prompt a little bit? Are we just going to leave the one prompt in there? You've seen what happens, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's for all of the like vaunted advantages of megalomaniacal machine intelligence is, you know, you ask just slightly the wrong question. You prompt it just wrong. You go way off track.
The greatest trek
is yet to come.
So this AI is a recruiter, recruiting racers, and it keeps chewing through them and killing them and keep attracting more to the planet. That's this thing's whole point of existing. And now that it's been discovered, it gets the grapplers out and it shackles Zero. And the AI is like, hey, I know there are more of you out there. I'm going to train them too. You're going to be great. You're going to be great racers, and you're going to love the training.
Yeah. So they're all grappled up at this point. these like robot snake arms have all of them, and the machine is bringing Zero in toward itself, and Zero is, resisting to the point of pulling off their arms and legs and rocketing themselves at the central stack of this deranged machine brain. Zero risks it all, causes a big explosion that sort of looked like it would probably incinerate everyone. Just based on like how massive the explosion looks from the outside and how you see fire like overtake all of the children as they're being held there.
Yeah, this thing blows big. This should have killed all the kids, right?
Yeah. That like jet of fire into the sky through the top of the building.
Are we to believe that Chaos Murf threw the jelly body on top of all of them and protected them?
No, because the clip show device was on Murf.
Hurry! Get into my toilet! Like Chaos Murf starts talking in this scene. Murf, I can't believe you're using words and why you're...
Shut up, there isn't time! Get in the toilet!
Well, your toilet has blue water in it also. How did you do that, Murf?
Okay, I was going for more of a porta potty thing. Anyways, get in! So Zero and everyone else have survived. Zero's in a bad way, though. The glass on the front of the orb is cracked, and the arms and legs are gone. Zero can't move. But they get out of there, and after they take off, Dal does another log talking about how they, I guess they freed Ekthi from this horrible mind prison. Seems like Ekthi is stuck on this planet, though, right? Like alone.
You know what's fucking great is like we now have a trend on this show. People do not get rides. They get left behind. Ekthi being, I think, the third or fourth character that this has happened to in the past 3 or 4 episodes. Can you tell if Ekthi wants a ride? He's kind of waving his arms in a way that could be seen as a, hey, help me, don't leave me down here by myself. Because he's alone after this, right? Like, his robots are dead.
Mm-hmm.
His son was never real.
It's really sad.
The AI's dead.
He's going to go nuts down there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think what they've done is made an enemy for the future.
We learned that Gwyn's armband is fixed, but Zero is unfixable until they have access to more technology or something.
Didn't you want Gwyn to use her amulet as sort of a cage for Zero? Like to keep the pieces together? I thought that would have been so cool.
But doesn't Gwyn not have the amulet anymore as of Valura?
Yep, all right. Asked and answered.
Yeah. Sorry to comic book guy you. Actually, in episode 3 of season 2, it was established.
Chaos Murf was never a toilet.
The poops all sank. None of them floated, okay?
You know what I'm going to do ahead of Star Trek Las Vegas? I'm going to make us a couple Chaos Murf toilet shirts. Only 2 exist. The ones we're wearing.
All right, let's make one more. If you become a supporter this week during the Max Fun Drive, it included with the potential to win a nub and bug is also the potential to win a Chaos Murf toilet shirt.
I love it. And Chaos Murf toilet, like the words are written in Toto script.
Okay. On the Voyager, Majel is walking down the hallway past Gwyn, does not notice when Gwyn is like glitching out holographically.
Mm-hmm.
Because of course this is Holo-Gwyn.
Nor does like a person with psychic abilities, empathic abilities, whatever version of a mental acuity that allows you to like sense others of your kind.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm getting from this scene is that isn't always on. Like, You're not just walking past people and picking up on their energy. Because if that were true, Majel would know right away that Gwyn is a holo, right?
Right.
This isn't like always on radar. It's by choice that you turn it on.
Yeah, I guess so. Majel follows Gwyn to her quarters and is like in the process of knocking on the door when suddenly time freezes. And we see this from Magel's spot in the hallway, and we also see this from the bridge, like a, coffee being mid-pour moment.
It's like the end of a Police Squad episode. Like
everybody's holding super still.
Yeah. Everyone's holding coffee they're pouring for some reason. Did I tell you I did that in a student film once?
Oh, that's a lot of fun.
Like totally ripped it off.
Yeah.
The best.
I did an actual freeze frame in a student film that I was very proud of. I should see if I could find you this. It was we just did a shot-for-shot remake of a Save Yourself for Marriage anti-sex pamphlet we found in like the student lounge.
Oh, boy.
It was a lot of fun. Just a straight ahead, like, let's just take this super seriously and shoot what they were going for here.
You don't have to have sex. You can fuck the pamphlet.
So some hentai tentacles come through the wall and erase the hologram of Gwyn.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly time goes back to moving, and it doesn't seem like anybody notices that anything was strange. But when Majel opens the door to Gwyn's quarters, the room is empty. Mystery!
Got some capital D's on this done, Ben?
I think these are capitals. Yeah, I think this is maybe 2 capital D's.
2 capital D's. I think for me, it's going to be 1.
Just 1.
Yeah, I think the mystery of a missing kid just doesn't move the needle for me.
Who's harmed in that case?
As soon as I began the statement, I was like, here we go.
Woo!
Did you like this episode, Ben?
She'll always bring it home.
Yeah, I thought this was a lot of fun. This is skiff racing, baby.
Yeah.
I love a race scene. I love a fun, we got to take a moment away from the adventure because this other adventure inserted itself moment like this. And interested to see where things go from here. Like, are they like way off track? Do they still have 60 days of travel to get to the secret planet that they're trying to find Chakotay on?
Great call. How far off course are they?
We don't know.
I mean, when you get kicked out of the tunnel, like, you got to find another gateway to get in, right? You can't just get in through the side.
Right.
That's not a thing.
You can't board the subway at 15th Street.
Precisely. Yeah.
That's all very interesting to me. I want to know if all of the holos got disappeared or just the Gwyn one.
Yeah. Great question.
And what happens to the personalities relative to the representations? Because the personalities all got jumbled up into the wrong holos.
They sure did. Yeah.
Many interesting tables being set. So yeah, I liked it. How about you?
I do love a race sequence. And on this show especially, it's in such good hands. The way a fight scene is in good hands. The way so many other very dynamic sequences are so totally well done on Prodigy. Totally. Really great and beautiful as a show. I kind of read the whole tentacles grab of Gwyn as they didn't look like tentacles to me. They looked almost like...
You know what they looked a little bit like is the whips that the Ferengis carry in Season 1 TNG?
Yeah, like that they were cylinders. They almost look like plants underwater, like with how they kind of waved in some invisible currents. It almost seemed incidental that they were reaching out at Gwyn. It's almost as if like they just floated through the portal and Gwyn just happened to be in the way or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something's weird about these things.
Yeah.
And I'm betting we're going to find out what the deal is. I mean, that's one of the questions we got to answer.
We got to.
I bet whoever's on the other side of this portal is going to be pretty fucking disappointed because we know about the holos. As soon as they leave the ship, they disappear. So what the hell, right?
Yeah. You want to see what's on the other side of this P1 inbox?
This is like the arcade game with the claw that goes down and you think you're going to get the plastic ball full of the keychains or whatever, but then like the claw slips off of the ball.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right. P1s?
Yeah.
Priority 1 message from Starfleet coming in on secured channel.
It's the end of our first week of Greatest Trek Drive. We're here to ask you to support the show by going to MaximumFun.org/join. Everyone who supports the show gets something. At the $5 level, you get access to the bonus feed. For $10 a month, you get access to the cool pins that we have on offer this year.
Money.
Being one of the pins and also a coexistence pin with the nubbin bug in it. Really great stuff. And anyone who joins or boosts at the end of this week, we have just a few days left to get you entered in to win this special prize. A nubbin bug of your own. Imagine it. Imagine having one of these in your house, looking at you as you make your morning coffee.
This thing is so great. A lot of people know that we made nubbin bugs for our Second Contact shows last year. What nobody was told at the time was that we made a special, like, Series 200 group of nubbin bugs for the staff of Uxbridge Shimoda LLC. And
you can have what we have with one of these special nubbin bugs.
It's a thing of beauty. It comes with a beautiful base for you to display it on, and a box covered with lots of little in-jokes that we riffed up with Bill Tilley. And it looks like the old like play school packaging design from the 90s. It's a thing of beauty. And this thing is hand-painted and based on the original mold from the TNG episode Conspiracy that Adam and I own.
Legally distinct in all the ways that matter.
One lucky joiner, booster, or upgrader from week 1 of the drive this year is going to win this super bug. And I want it to be you. I want you to get it. And that means you got to participate right now in week 1 because there's only a couple of days left. So head to MaximumFun.org/join, set up your membership, boost your membership, or upgrade your membership, and that is how you become eligible. And we'll let you know next week who wins this thing.
Everyone who does something during Greatest Trek Drive gets something. We're talking about the bonus feed. We're talking about the pin. We're talking about getting entered into the contest.
I think the bonus content is prize enough. The pins are prize enough. Just the idea that somebody's getting this nubbin bug is really exciting to me. And I think it is realistic for every single person listening to set aside $5 a month to support a thing that they really like in Greatest Trek and the Greatest Generation. So
I do too.
Go to MaximumFun.org/join right now. The minimum is $5 a month, and that gets you access to all the bonus content, like going back years and years, over 60 bonus episodes already in there waiting for you. New ones each month. Plus, members get discounts on streaming live shows that we do. Head to MaximumFun.org/join while I'm talking and select your level of support. Select what pledge gifts you want. Select our show, Greatest Trek, and please select also Greatest Generation. Become a member today. MaximumFun.org/join right now.
Look, don't just take it from us. Here are a bunch of friends of DeSoto to tell you why supporting the show is so important to them.
Hey, my name's Dan, aka Danma on the Discord.
Hey, this is Apers.
My name is Matt, aka Vulcan on the Discord.
Hey, this is Dan, Destructor on the Discord.
And I'm not embarrassed to say I support the Uxbridge Shimoda family of products.
I've been supporting Maximum Fun's cool Star Trek podcast since I first heard an ad about it.
I support because I like listening to Ben and Adam talk about stuff I love. The comedy is stupid, but the laughs are real.
I realised last year that I just couldn't get enough of Ben and Adam in my ear holes, so I dished out for Max Fun membership, and ever since I've not only got all that sweet bonus content, I also bask in the knowledge that I'm keeping the lights on at Greatest Gen HQ. I'd encourage anyone listening to do the same and sign up at MaximumFun.org/join.
If you'd like to join in supporting them continuing on, MaximumFun.org/join.
MaximumFun.org/join.
Come join us at MaximumFun.org/join.
God, I can't believe the Friends of DeSoto have even higher quality microphones than we do. Can't believe they go out of their way to be so kind and generous and supportive of what we do. It is truly an honor to work for the Friends of DeSoto, and that's what we do. If you listen to this show, we work for you, and we want you to be a supporter by going to MaximumFun.org/join.
When you download the show every week, I think it's easy to take for granted that it's always there. It's always been there before. It's always going to be there, right?
Yeah.
But there is so much that happens behind the scenes that even the most knowledgeable FODs don't know about. Like the things that we do to make this show the way that it is. It takes days and days of work to do from just so many people, not just me and Ben. And behind those scenes is always you, the supporters of the show. So there's like a couple different layers to the thing. And maybe the most important layer is that layer where you exist, the supporter of the show. And you can be a part of what makes this thing happen by going to MaximumFun.org/join. Become a supporter.
You can and you should. Our goal is 100% of you listening becoming supporters this year. We're not cutting it off at some arbitrary number.
Yeah, some bullshit number that's not 100%. Could you imagine how stupid that would be?
That would be very stupid, but I also don't want anybody to get it twisted that like, oh, they hit their number, so I don't need to support. You do need to support.
If you're listening to the show, you need to support.
That's all there is to it. So head to MaximumFun.org/join right now. Become the member you know you want to be today.
Increase support the maximum. Increase support the maximum. Increase support the maximum.
Hey, Ben.
What's that, Adam?
Did you find yourself a bonus breaks? Bonus breaks. Bonus breaks. Bonus breaks. Bonus breaks. Bonus breaks. I kind of doobie brothered my Barnus Rex there, but yeah. I like it.
I got to give it to Jankom. You don't, like, he's the person that is most qualified to fix the toilet that he just clogged.
Amazing observation. What are you doing, Jankom Pog? You could have stayed in there and fixed the toilet. Like, you telling me your mechanical arm can't turn into a plunger?
That's got to have a plunger attachment.
Or a sneck? You know he's got yards or feet of sneck that can get in there and undo the plug.
I understand why Kid Adam didn't know how to do the plunger when he repeatedly clogged the toilet with his giant, disgusting, shameful shits.
Well, you said it.
But Jankom Pog, come on, man.
I can choose no one else but him for that reason. I mean, mine initially was just going to be, yeah, toilet plugger, Jankom Pog. But that he didn't even consider to clean up his mess. Bad form. Bad form, and he's way older than I was at that age. He's got to know better.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, final segment on every episode of Gray's Trek is our Warning Wise segment, where we talk about somebody who was nice enough to talk nice about us.
Prepare a buoy and launch it when ready.
Warning buoys.
An emergency buoy. A warning buoy.
Adam, do you want to read a warning buoy for us?
Sure do, Ben, and I think this one is thematically appropriate for the episode we just recorded. This one's on Podcast Addict. A 5-star review there from a username Flemmy. Plegme. It's fun, right? 5 stars is what the review is. The description goes, the best pee-pee poo-poo Star Trek podcast.
Well put, Flemmy.
There you have it from Flemmy. And on this particular episode, I think you got that exactly right.
I feel like I knew and then forgot, and I'm relearning that Podcast Addict has a review section in there. If you use Podcast Addict, please leave us a nice review.
If you leave a review on any podcast application, it will wake up Ben Harrison no matter what time of night.
I love it.
And then he will roll over and read it. So wake him up with a 5-star review.
Wake me up.
All reviews help the show in a magical, algorithmic way that we can't possibly understand, but it really does make a difference. So thank you for your reviews.
And thank you for all of your great support so far in the Max Fun Drive. We're looking for 100% support by the end of this week. We're not even going to do pledge breaks next week if we get to 100% this week. Thanks to everyone, and we will leave the episode in Wynde's capable hands from here.
Thanks, Wynde.
Bye-bye.
Greatest Trek is an Uxbridge Shimoda podcast on the Maximum Fun Network. It's hosted by Ben Harrison and Adam Pranica, and it's produced and edited by Wynde Priddy. Ben and Adam will be back next week with a review of Star Trek Prodigy Season 2, Episode 8. It's called Is There in Beauty No Truth? Fun TOS callback where the crew detours to a colony of non-corporeal entities who offer Zero an opportunity to obtain a physical body. We're at the end of week 1 of this show's once-a-year membership drive. Thank you so much to everyone who's already joined. Be a part of the 100% and help us keep making these episodes for you by setting up your membership at MaximumFun.org/join. You get instant access to a ton of great bonus content, plus amazing benefits that are only available during the drive. It just takes a few minutes to set it up, MaximumFun.org/join. Thank you to Nick Ditmore, who created the show art, and Adam Ragusa, who composed the theme music. Thanks to Rob Adler and Bill Tilley for their work on the @Greatest Trek social media pages. And thank you for listening. We'll see you next week on Greatest Trek.
Hey, this is one last reminder.
I feel like we're both on the couch and you just like put your arm up on the thing like, hey.
Hey, I know this has been tough. You didn't expect to walk into this room and have me and Adam sitting here with yellow pieces of paper ripped out of a legal pad with some thoughts gathered on them.
We just want to tell you your Star Trek podcasters love you a whole bunch.
It was big of you to sit through this and listen to all of this because it's not easy for anyone. So we really appreciate you bearing with us while we get some of these things off our chest. But we also really appreciate you becoming a supporter by going to MaximumFun.org/join right now. It's the end of the episode. It's the end of the first week. Our goal is to get to 100% this first week. That's why we're doing the nub and bug in week 1. Like, we'll just not do pledge breaks next week. We'll take the heat from the network and just not do them, because we'll be like, listen, we don't have any more listeners. We got to 100%. We can stop bothering them.
That is a conversation I would welcome.
So head to MaximumFun.org/join right now.
For all the reasons we've already said, for all of the bonuses that you can get for supporting, will you pledge to get into the waiting car that we have outside and go to support? It's far easier than going to rehab. You just go to MaximumFun.org/join, you click a couple of buttons, you support Greatest Trek and Greatest Gen, and then it's done. And then you're cured. You're part of the 100%. And that's a great place to be. That's a place where I want you.
I really love you a whole lot, and I need you back at 100%, and I need us at 100%.
Yeah.
MaximumFun.org/join.
Increase support, the maximum. Increase support, the maximum. Increase support, the maximum. Increase support, the maximum. Increase support, the maximum.
Make it so.
Money.
Maximum Fun,
a worker-owned network
of artist-owned shows,
supported directly by you.